So this message is primarily for those who are into meditation or who are prone to doing astral projection or remote viewing, where you're leaving your physical body and your spirit is moving and observing and that kind of a thing. It might be foreign to you, these concepts, but for those of you who understand what I mean, you understand what I'm talking about. And if it's simply that you're into meditation and you're able to really quiet your mind and sort of leave that way, this is important to know, okay? When we do these type of practices, we're often advised to ground, right? In other words, don't get too lost in the other side or wherever it is that your mind is going to, or your spirit. Remember to stay grounded with where you are in the present moment. Well, I was working with someone last week, and I was, like I usually do before I start, setting up the container or the space, between us to say, we're going to ground to the earth. Well, what was interesting is that a being, an Arcturian, ET, okay, came through, named Daria, which I think was a female energy, but it might have been non-binary, but whatever. Daria came through and said, listen, as a planet, you're ascending to the 5th dimension. You should be grounding to the central sun. The earth as you know it will only be for those who want to stay in 3D by choice. But if you're someone who is moving into the next timeline, who is moving up into the frequency of the 5th dimension, you are going to want to ground to the central sun, which is the central sun of our universe. It is the source of all the solar flares that are coming in that are lifting our earth to a higher frequency. It is the source of our DNA activations, the central sun. That's where you want to be focusing, and that's where you want to be grounding and connecting to and anchoring to. You don't want to anchor to the earth any longer, because earth as you know it, as someone who wants to advance forward to the 5th dimension, is not going to be where you want to be anchored to, because that's not for you anymore. Okay? And if you're following my channel, I talk about this quite a bit, the changes that are happening with the collective energy. So it'll make sense. So this is the advice from the Arcturian Daria, and I want to share that with anyone who has been using that phrase of grounding to the earth, and that practice and that intention has been intending to ground and anchor to the earth. We're being advised to ground and to anchor to the central sun. Now, if you're someone who's interested in learning more about any of the energy healing sessions that I give, you can reach out to me. I'm not doing them very often, but I will take on a few clients. Take care.